Weslyn and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing 10 things that I wish I knew before going to nursing school. I know for me, before I went to nursing school, I've watched so many of these videos. I wanted to make sure that I wanted to go to nursing school because to me, I like hearing how other people, like, what they think about nursing school, things they wish they knew before going to nursing school, like the eye-opening things. So today I'm making a video about 10 things I wish that I knew before going to nursing school. Some of them I knew, but these are just some things that I feel like you guys should know if you're wanting to go to nursing school in the future or just in general. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So the first thing that shocked me when going to nursing school, for some reason I did not know this, I don't know why, but it's the grading scale. So if you guys don't know, nursing school's grading scales are different than if you're in a regular college. At least for my school, and I know for many other nursing schools now, I know that that's normal. So for my school, if you get a 94, it's considered an A. If you get a 93, it's like a B or an A minus or whatever. I mean, to fail, let's say if I get a 73.9% in a class, they will fail me for that class. There's no talking about it, there's no rounding. They will not round your grade. So you, normal college, it's oh, you get a D, whatever. If you get a 72, oh, it's a C. No. In nursing school, if you get a 73%, you fail that class, which means you have to retake the class. They don't care, they will not round. So that really sucks unless you're really good at school. But that's one thing I didn't know before going to nursing school that I know now. And the next thing is ATI exams. I also didn't know this before going to nursing school, but when you go into nursing school, at least for my school, and I know many other schools, again, you have to take an ATI exam for all of your big nursing classes. So your fundamentals, your med surg, your mom and baby, which we didn't have to do that one, but med surg, fundamentals, mom and baby. It's like a comprehensive exam at the end of your quarter or semester or whatever it is, and you have to pass it with a certain percentage. So for us, you have to get a level 2. For each exam, it's different for what a level 2 is. So that made me really nervous because yeah, you can pass your class with a 74 or higher, but then if you fail your ATI at the end of the quarter, you don't pass that class, meaning you fail that quarter and you have to sit out. So that makes me really nervous. ATIs freak me out. But for my school, we have 2 tries. So for the first try, you go in, you take your ATI. If you don't get a level 2 or higher, you fail it. And then after that, you have to go back for a second try. And if you don't pass it the second try, you fail that quarter. So you have to wait for a remediation period of 3 months for my school. So that was really scary to me, and still ATIs freak me out. Another thing, I don't know if this is all nursing schools. I know I've talked to other students in nursing school that go to different places that it's kind of the same thing. They're just called different things. So for my school, I knew this before going to nursing school, but I didn't realize how often. So they're called CPEs in my school. Other schools, they're called checkoffs. I've talked about them in my other videos. We have them every single quarter in our lab. So that means, okay, so your first quarter, you have vital signs, and then you have your nasogastric tube insertion, you have your nasogastric medication administration, you have pediatric medication administration, you have Foley catheter insertion, IV piggyback, IV push. I could go on and on. They're all CPEs. So pretty much what that means is you learned for the quarter how to do that skill. So it's like a skills checkoff. So once you learn that skill, you have a scheduled day and time to go onto campus, and a teacher actually watches you perform that skill. For us, we get 3 tries, which is awesome. I've never had to use more than 1 try, but it's still nerve-wracking because you think you know what you're doing, and a teacher's watching you on a dummy, or on a mannequin. So you knock and you do your whole entire A-wipe, you announce yourself, all of that, and you perform the skill. If you break sterile technique, if you do something wrong, if you say something you're not supposed to say, they will fail you, which means it's no big deal. You go out, you take a minute, and you go back in and you redo the skill. and most of the time you'll pass it. I mean, they're not that hard. It's just the thought of having a teacher watch you is like nerve-wracking. So my first time I did it, I was freaking out. Like, I was so scared. But now it doesn't really bother me as much when I go into CPEs. Obviously, like, I'm like, my heart's going a little bit, but I'm not like freaking out because I've done it so many times now. But that's one thing like that in nursing school that I'm like, it's scary. Sim lab. So I personally enjoy sim lab. It's really fun. Because of COVID, we haven't got to do it. It's all online. But sim to me is so fun. But some people don't like it. Pretty much you're recorded. So you go into a patient's room. You don't know, you know, obviously their background and their assessment from the past nurse. Because what happens is there's like your clinical group, there's like 8 of you, and you're all in one room. So there's a room with the patient in it, and then you have a room where it's like a debriefing room. So actually when you go into the patient's room, there's a camera that watches you perform, you know, everything you're doing in the room, and all your, you know, teacher and all your clinical people are watching you do what you're doing in the room, and they write down, okay, this is what she did good, this is what she did bad, and the patient talks to you. So there's actually a sim lab coordinator, and he's actually talking through the mannequin. So it's completely like random, like you have no idea what he's gonna say, and pretty much you walk in and it's a real patient, and pretty much your teacher and your, you know, friends watch you and write what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. And it's very nerve-wracking. Normally you go in with like one other person, so that makes it a little bit better, but it's definitely scary because you have all these eyes on you, not just one teacher, but you have your teacher and all your friends. So if you mess up, like, it's obviously they're really cool about it. Nobody really knows what they're doing, and it's fun and funny. It's a very good learning experience, but it's definitely nerve-wracking. So that was another thing. I enjoy it, but some people don't. Another thing at my school is that if you fail ATI, you actually sit out for 3 months. So that sucks. I pray all the time that I do not fail. I study so hard because I do not want to sit out for 3 months and have to retake that I failed, which means it pushes you back 3 months. You actually sit out for what it's called a remediation period, which sucks because then you're behind 3 months. Your whole cohort that you were with is now moved on, and you sit back by yourself, which really sucks. But again, it's very normal to fail. But the thought of like sitting back for 3 months throws me off and freaks me out bad, because I do not want to be, first of all, I have so many friends in nursing school. I don't want to be the only one that's sitting back. You know what I mean? Like, that would be so sad. I wouldn't be able to graduate with them. And so that's one thing I did not know about nursing school, is that you have to sit out for 3 months if you fail. Another thing, which I've gotten comments on my videos before, is because people know I work in nursing school, and people ask me, I have DMs and stuff of people asking me, how do you work in nursing school? Is it doable? Should I work in nursing school? I'm starting nursing school. What do I do with my work? Here's the thing. A lot of people at my school do not work. Some of my really close friends don't work. They study and they do what they can. They babysit when they can. For me, I never quit my job. I have worked through nursing school. Definitely my hours were cut. Before I was in nursing school, I worked about 5 days a week, and I served. So it's the same place I've been working. I work now. However, when I started nursing school, I kept up my hours, but as I got, you know, as I progressed and I started taking harder classes and I got into my med surge and all that, I had to dwindle down, and now I only work 2 days a week because unfortunately nursing school's hard, and I have a boyfriend, as all of you guys know, and I have friends, and it's really hard to juggle work and school and boyfriend and friends and family. It's really hard, but it is doable. Can you work full-time? I mean, if you can do it, like, do it. I say go ahead, try it. Try to work. If you can work and you can handle it, then do it. Like, that's awesome. If you can't work, that's okay. You're in nursing school. It's completely understandable. So when people ask me that, it's really it's how you are. Can you handle a lot of stress? Can you, can you juggle all these things? If you're able to do it, go for it. Like, I give you props. That is awesome. Like, I enjoy working in nursing school. I only work 2 days a week, morning shifts, not a lot by any means. Sometimes I work 3 days a week, but I enjoy working. I like to work. So it's really up to you. If you think you can handle it, do it. I say try it out. Try, see if you can work. If you feel overwhelmed, then quit or cut back your hours. So really, it's all up to the person if you're able to handle it or if you're not. One thing that I do have to say though, that I regret, and it's kind of late now because I graduate in June, is that I wish I had a job in the medical field, because I feel like, especially with COVID, I'm not getting as much hands-on experience as other people at my school that, work as a scribe or work as a patient care technician or a CNA, like all, there's jobs in the hospital that you're able to do and get experience, and that's one thing that I missed out on, and I do wish that I would have done that, but it's kind of late now. So I really highly suggest getting a job in a hospital if you're looking for some sort of job to do in nursing school, because it's almost like you're in clinical, but you're at work and you're getting paid. So that's awesome. Another thing that I didn't know before going to nursing school, and I learned at my first clinical, was that nurses can be mean. CNAs can be mean. You go to clinical and you really honestly are clueless, and it's completely normal. But you go in there and sometimes the nurses that you're shadowing can be very mean, and sometimes I think that they forget that they were in your shoes once, they were you one time. And that's one thing that is, when I am a nurse and I'm training people, I will never be rude or make people feel stupid. But unfortunately, it's very normal to go into a hospital and have somebody who's rude and they don't want you there. They just kind of see you as like an inconvenience. And honestly, you just have to smile and, try to get involved, ask, can I do this? Oh, I was checked off. I can do this. Am I able to do this? And that's one thing that I struggle with, is if somebody's being mean to me, like, I kind of just like stand back and just like watch. They're not necessarily mean, just kind of, like annoyed. You can tell they're annoyed with you. And I've had very good nurses that are like, oh, do you want to do this? Or like just very like teaching me. And I love that. There's a lot of those. Unfortunately, there's some that are not very nice, and that's okay. You're gonna have people that are not nice. That's okay. But one thing that I struggle with personally in nursing school is that when I'm at clinical, I don't really jump in like I should. So if a nurse is giving a medication or inserting an IV or doing a Foley catheter or cleaning a trach, I never like say, oh, would you mind if I do that? Sometimes I'll like, if it's if they're giving insulin or giving heparin or inserting any sort of needle, I normally like, I'm like, oh, would you mind if I do that? But when it comes to like inserting IVs and like Foley catheters and trach care and all that, I get really nervous and I don't really jump in and like say, oh, can I do this? Which I need to work on. Especially, I definitely took advantage of that, and now that we haven't been in clinical for however many months, I'm like regretting every minute of it. So when I go back to clinical in January, I'm definitely going to try to jump in. Another thing in nursing school is that having friends makes nursing school amazing. Like, listen, nursing school is not very fun by any means. However, having friends, I have a very close group of friends. It's me and 3 other girls, and we have a group chat. We always talk, we get through stuff together. We, try to study together, and it's really like helpful to have friends in nursing school to get through it, because they're going through the exact same thing. They have the exact same teachers. They're all in clinical. They're all struggling with you, and it's a good feeling. So if you ever are in nursing school, on your first day, try to make friends, because I'm telling you, I don't know how I would have got through nursing school without them, and I am not kidding. I'm not through it yet, but just saying. Another thing is, obviously most of you guys know this, and I knew this before going to nursing school, but don't go to nursing school for the money, because at the end of the day, you're dealing with people's lives, first of all, and yeah, you can make good money. Yeah, you can do many, many things. However, if you're not interested in you know, patient care or really caring for people, or if you're just not a people person and you don't want to go to nursing school and you're just doing it because you're like, oh, I like the money, you're gonna struggle. Not saying you can't do it, because there are some nurses out there that go for the money and they're doing great. However, for me personally, if I wasn't in it for, you know, taking care of people, you know, saving people's lives or caring for people, you know, all those things, I would struggle very hard. The amount of time it takes to study and to, you know, go to school and go to clinical, and obviously you can't work that much and go to, you know, you're going to clinical and you're dealing with people and it's a lot of stress, and if you're not in it for the right reasons, you will struggle. I'm not saying you can't do it. However, for me personally, I wouldn't be able to do it if I was just in it for the money. So another thing is that it takes up a lot of your time. Obviously, you guys probably know this, but in nursing school, your social life dwindles down and you don't have it. Not saying you don't. I still, like I said, I work, I hang out with my boyfriend, I hang out with my friends and my family, but it's definitely hard. You have to be able to balance it because you need to study, obviously. So it definitely takes up a lot of time of your life. I'm not saying, guys, it's really like, I went into nursing school, I can't do this, I'm not smart enough, da da da. You are. You can do it. It's doable. Like, you're fine. Just note these things before going in and you'll be fine. And the last thing is that you can study as hard as you want in nursing school. You can literally sit there for hours and hours and hours for a test, and you could go take that test and think you know everything, and you sit down and you take that test and you fail it. And that happened to me. My first fundamentals class, I didn't fail it. However, my grades weren't as good as I wanted them to be. I was struggling. My grades were, you know, they were average, and I wanted to, you know, have very good grades, and I wasn't. And that's okay, because I learned, I figured out what it was that I was struggling with, because I would sit here and I would study for hours and hours and hours on end, and days, and I would go take the exam and I would get like a 78 or a 76, and I was like, what is going on? I think I know the content. Well, I found out that if you're not doing critical thinking questions, if you're not applying your knowledge to a question, you will struggle. And it took me a while to figure this out, and I still struggle with these types of questions. Some people, it just comes like that to them. However, I was not one of those people. The way nursing school, the way they word their questions is very difficult. It's, you know, there's a lot of, they try to trick you almost. Like, they want you, they don't want you to just know the definition of something. You need to know, you know, why. And they're going to ask you questions, and you need to be able to go in depth about every single disease process or every single thing in general. So for me, I showed you guys on my supplies video. If you go back and you look at my supplies video, there's a textbook that I highly recommend. It is the Saunders NCLEX RN Examination Review book. And it has a little section in it that shows you how to answer test questions. And there's also a little section on each class. So your fundamentals, your maternal and peds, your med surg. There's sections on there to help you learn how to answer the questions, because you can study, like I said, so much, and if you don't apply your knowledge to questions, it's really hard to take tests. And you will learn that and you will get the hang of it. Like I said, some people are just like, boom, I got it, acing all these tests. Unfortunately, I was not one of those people. I had to learn, and I did. Still hard, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely doable. So anyway, those were all my tips for nursing school. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and turn on my post notifications so you don't miss an upload. And if you are thinking about going to nursing school, do it. Like, I cannot tell you enough, do it. If you're thinking you're not smart enough, you're thinking that you can't because, you know, you need to work, or you can't because you have a family, you can do it. It's very doable. It really is. Trust me. I can't tell you guys enough. Like, I didn't want to go to nursing school because I was like, oh my God, it's so hard. Like, you watch all these videos and people are like, it's so hard. And oh my God, it's hard. Don't get me wrong, but you can do it. You really can. And here's the thing. You will never be prepared for nursing school. Really, you're never prepared for anything in life. It just comes. You know what I mean? So, do it. Go for it. You got it. Just do it. Like, I'm telling you guys. But anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. Turn on my post notifications so you don't miss an upload. I upload every single Monday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you guys have a blessed week. Bye, guys.